Okay, I think now it's streaming.
Nice. Cool.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, I think now it's... All right, let's get started. So before we officially get started, I'm going to quickly go over some logistics. So the event is being live streamed on YouTube. So if you don't feel comfortable having people see your faces, you're welcome to turn your Zoom video off. However, if you are comfortable, we do encourage you to unmute and say hi and to turn on your video so Chip is not speaking to a black screen of names. And if you haven't yet, we also have a Discord community, and you're welcome to join our Discord community. We're a community of learners who came together to explore the world of ML ops. We come together on Discord to ask questions, share experiences, and discuss tools. So if you haven't yet, definitely reach out and I can send you an invitation to the Discord community. And now, so thank you, Chip, for being with us here today. Is someone talking? Okay, unless you have a question, can everyone please mute themselves? Thank you. Okay, so Chip is here with us today. She is a very influential figure and voice in the machine learning and ML ops space. She is currently the co-founder of Claypot AI, a streaming-first platform for real-time machine learning. And previously, she built machine learning tools at Snorkel AI, NVIDIA, Netflix, and Primer. In her free time, she is also an instructor at Stanford and teaches a class on real-world machine learning systems. As you all know, Chip recently published the first edition of Design Machine Learning Systems, an iterative process for production-ready applications. Within 2 weeks of release, the book quickly became Amazon's #1 bestseller in artificial intelligence. I'm going to mute. Oh, maybe Chip, you can mute people. As the title suggests, the book covers the iterative process for production-ready machine learning applications. The 11 comprehensive chapters go through all the steps in a machine learning pipeline, from data engineering to post-production testing and monitoring. It bridges the gaps between business teams and technical teams. And if you haven't had a chance yet, I will highly recommend spending some time reading it. And now let's actually get started with the Q&A portion of the session. So we received over 100 questions. A lot of questions were about general topics like interpretability, data engineering, batch versus online prediction, model testing, machine learning on the edge, continual learning, etc. And these questions actually require pretty long answers. So we highly recommend you to actually go through the book, as these topics are all being discussed in a lot of detail in the book itself. And now, if you have seen the book, so first, we would love to know more about Chip. How was the process for writing this book?
Oh, thank you, Chloe, for the really kind words, and thank you everyone for being here. Honestly, like writing the book is like scary, because once it's done, it's out there and you have no idea how it's gonna be received. So it's really nice and heartwarming to see that people would be interested enough to like show up on the call today. So really thank you everyone for making my day. So the process, it was a really long process. So for me, I believe that the best way to learn is to write. Like if I try to write down something and I can't articulate it in writing, then I don't understand it enough, which means I need to read more, I need to talk to more people. So so like I started making notes on like ML deployment productions back in 2018, and when I was at NVIDIA. And so the first versions, I have a very short, not really that short, like 8,000 words booklet, and I put it on GitHub, and I got like a lot of good feedback. You know, like the internet say, like the best way to get the right answer is to put the wrong answer out there, and people want to tell you that it's wrong. So I got like a lot of people emailing me and say, okay, this is not entirely correct, or it's a way off, or some points they tell me like more concrete example, like they can totally relate to that as their work, and that's like helps me like understand a lot more. So then I started teaching the course at Stanford. So the lecture note, it went through 2 courses, 2 years. So a lot of iterations, a lot of feedback. Chloe was a TA for one of the courses, and she gave a lot of good feedback as well. And then yeah, finally it was a book. So I guess it was like 4-year process.
Wow, that's a really long process. So is there
It was
anything that
hard, yeah.
discourage you from continuing in the process? Did you ever feel like you wanted to give up writing the book?
Um, so because like, it happened over a long period of time, so like a lot of things happens, like a lot of new things, and it's sometimes I'm not sure you ever have the feeling like, oh my gosh, there's so many new things out there. There's no way you can like keep up with all of that. So it took it took and also like in January this year, it was like the quarter, January to March. So we started a company and we fundraised, we started hiring, and at the same time was teaching at Stanford, and it was got really overwhelming. So it was like, it was hard. But I'm glad, I'm glad we got through the patch. But yeah, it was mostly time planning. Sometimes in the future, you just like have, it's just maybe like anyone here can relate, but sometimes you just want to do a lot of things and it's come back and like bite you in the butt. Sorry, am I supposed to say the B word here?
It's okay, we can censor that. Yeah, we're all very glad that you got through the rough patches. A lot of people are saying things in the chat for writing the book. A lot of people just got the book recently, so that's very exciting. Definitely spend some time reading it. Yeah. And which chapters in this book did you find the most difficult and spend the most time writing?
So they own difficult in their own way. So I think like originally I thought chapter 3 was the most difficult one, like the data systems and engineering, because I guess like most data scientists and machine learning engineers, I didn't really learn data system in school, and there are a lot of them to write about. So it was hard. I think that's the chapter that went through the most iterations, like a lot. Or maybe you can I have some early draft out. Maybe I can share like how I originally like the whole book went through 5 different versions. So that was hard because I didn't know data systems, but then I ended up learning a lot about it. Chapter 10 was hard, machine learning platforms, because I talked to a lot of companies, but then every machine learning platform was different, like really, really different. And I'm sorry to say this, but like a lot of platforms are not good. So you will see that like if you talk to engineer, and this is like blatantly like not doesn't make sense. For example, like there's this company who would like zip every machine learning models, and it would just like put it on like, I don't know, like S3, and it would expect that their platform would be able to know how to unzip different files and read PyTorch or TensorFlow model correctly. And we see a lot of hardcore things like that. And most people like don't really have like monitoring. And if they do monitoring, it's a different concept. Like some company think of batch monitoring as monitoring, or some people are confused between like ops metrics and machine learning metrics. And ops metric, like they can do like use Datadog, Sentry. But then like if you ask them like, okay, do you do monitoring? They will say like, yes. But then you have to dig really deep into understanding what exactly they mean by monitoring. So that was hard. Chapter 11 was hard, the human side, because I don't especially responsible AI, because I was scared. It was like it's an important topic, but it was also very nuanced. So it was like, okay, if I say the wrong thing, when people like try to like prosecute me. So so that was hard. And chapter 2 was actually a last minute addition. So originally we have only 10 chapters, and our editor was like, you can't make chapter 2. It was be too much editing work, because it was like, so the week before the book came out live, it was like, but we can't talk about machine learning system without talking about framing the problem. So we need to like put it in. So I guess that was so hard because it was very last minute. And
Wow.
edited content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. So
yeah, go ahead.
I just thought like did any chapters are gonna not make it into the book. So like scope it down. So I think a lot of it, like the topic is like getting evolving over time, and I just couldn't like make it in on time. So I just need to like cut it out. So like further learning, I couldn't make it on time. So that is not in the book.
It's not in the current edition of the book. It may be in the next book.
Perhaps with another 4 years. Yeah, I need to take another course.
So kind of related to what you were talking about, there are a lot of new technologies, as you mentioned, and obviously the ML ops, and the ML infra space is constantly evolving. So how often do you expect the book to be updated?
That's an interesting question. So in the book, I have an example from Tesla. So Andre Kapati went to our course and gave a lecture, and I think I heard some noise. So he was sorry, I got a bit confused. Okay, so Andre went to our class and he was giving a guest lecture, and he gave an example of like how's the importance of labeling, and he was like, so he asked the recruiter to get him a labeling team in-house, and the recruiter asked like, oh, how long do you want the labeling team for? And Andre responded like, how long do we need the engineering team for? So it's like it's very important to him like to get the labeling right. But just read yesterday, right? Like someone hand shared Discord that Tesla has laid off the entire labeling team. I was like, okay, dang it. Next time I write a book, I would need to like update this example. So it will happen. But I think at the same time, like when I was writing, I was trying to make it less tool dependent. So because tools change a lot, I think that's the lessons I learned back in 2017 when I taught a TensorFlow course. And it was very exciting, but then like TensorFlow decided to upgrade to 2.0. Like everything was just like crazy. And it was like, if I wanted to take the course again, I would need to change like 80% of my materials. And so, okay, I don't want to be anything tool dependent and more focused on like fundamental. So hopefully it will require less updating.
That makes a lot of sense. In addition to that, so you mentioned that you learned through teaching the course that you want the content to be less tool dependent. And what other insights, technical or personal or social insights did you get from writing this book?
So I learned a lot. I guess like a lot of what I wrote in the books are what I learned through the process of writing. Like really, writing is a really a good way to learn. So I think what I gained the most is like, I guess I got a lot of new friends and mentors, because so I started sharing draft to people that I think know about certain topic more than I do. For example, data systems or like monitoring. For monitoring, um, concept drift is not something new. My research community has been studying it back in like the 70s, like 80s. So there are a lot of like experienced researchers who have studied for a long time. So I did share with other researchers in machine learning. And so one example is like Thomas Dietrich. So I'm not sure you know him. He's one of the pioneers of machine learning. If you read arXiv, then if we know him, I think we call him as a gatekeeper of arXiv because he reads every single abstract submitted to arXiv. So he told me, I think it's why he reads about 200 abstracts a week. So it's like a lot, and he's absolutely amazing. So I did ask him for his feedback on the monitoring because I've been studying monitoring concept drift for a long time, and he was amazing. So I didn't know him before, but then through the process of writing, I just felt like, I don't know, I got to know him a lot better. So that was really, really nice. Yeah. And also other people as well in the community. So I did ask a lot of people from Discord community for feedback. And in the process, I just realized, oh my God, people are like really smart and know a lot of things. And it's a humbling experience, but also nice. Yeah.
That's really cool. And kind of related to that, someone's asking the Zoom chat actually, what are your hopes for the communities that you have built around the publication of this book?
Wow. I would say it's not something I thought about. I mean, yeah. I just hope that my book is useful to people, and I hope that through the book, people we can start discussions on like what is the right things to do for machine learning productions. Definitely, that's not the end solution, is not the end game, but I do hope that we can have more productive discussion now that we can have common terms to discuss.
That makes sense. So you do a lot of really crazy things, as we have talked about. You are an instructor at Stanford. At the same time, you wrote a book, and you also manage a community on Discord while also starting a startup. So how do you have time to manage all the different things that you do?
Actually, I don't really manage things very well. So I think a lot of them are like interleaving, like very, very strongly correlated with each other. So it's really not bad because I think as a course also really helped with me writing the book. And at the same time, learning about the book helped me with the course. And both of them really helped me with the company because it's gives me opportunity to talk to a lot more people, potential customers, even like candidates. So they are really related. And I think like honestly, I don't have kids. So I have friends who have kids. And I would say like having kids is like a lot more demanding. So I guess that's really coming down to just like not having kids. So yeah, sorry for I do have a lot of tremendous respect. It was like asking my friends like how do you do that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a full-time job by itself. It's a lot of
Yeah.
work to raise kids. Now switching gears a little bit, let's ask you some of the lighter questions since you have been talking for a really long time. So what is your plan for launching in India and making it available for Amazon India website?
Oh, it's available on Amazon India website. Yeah, I think it's doing okay there. Yeah.
Okay, guys, go on to the Amazon India website and you can purchase it there. And the next question, kind of related. When are you going to go to India?
Oh, I spent a lot of time in India. I spent like 8 months in India. So I'm not sure some of you might know. Probably nobody recognized me. I was some of the also on some of the TV commercials in India. So I had a great time there. It's a great country. It's big, it's massive though, but it was fun.
Okay, guys, go search out the commercials that
Oh
Chip is on.
no,
If
I
you
was
can bring
so
us the
bad.
commercials, we will give you a book.
Oh, it was really bad. I'm not
I'm
sure you
just
know the
kidding.
ZTV. Yeah, like anyone on ZTV. I know. So I was on a commercial. Originally, they gave me like some lines to talk, like to act, and then they were like, "Okay, you're so bad. You just stand there and try not to look too awkward." So that was my role. So I don't think anyone would like recognize me.
That's really cool. Um, so you, I guess, were in India and you also traveled a lot. So if you actually have a chance to go back in time to when you were graduating and starting work, is there anything you would have done differently?
Buy Bitcoin, like a lot of it. So I in school I had a friend who was like a friend of Vitalik, and so he told me that okay you need to get into Ethereum thing. It was just like so he bought Ethereum for like 10 cents, and he told me it's like okay you should buy it now, and don't expect it should go crazy for like 6 months, but it will blow up. And I was like, what is this? What is this crazy thing? So I did not buy it. So there was like a big decision. And believe it or not, that friend now disappeared. No one can get in touch with him. Like as Ethereum blow up, he's just like, no one can trace him. So last I heard he was in a temple in Myanmar. But yeah. But for more serious though, um, I think I wish I had more confidence in myself when I first started, when I graduated. I think, for example, I come from writing background, and when I first looking for internships, I got rejected for every internship because a recruiter gave me feedback. He was like, "No one can take you seriously as an engineer when all you have done is writing." So I had to like make the decision, like consciously remove writing from my resume, and I stopped talking about it. But I was really worried that like my friends, classmates would not think of me as an engineer if they know about writing. So I had a roommate in school for 3 years, and she didn't know about like I wrote books before my writing background until we graduated. So that's something. It's like as the more I worked out, the more I realized it's like writing really helps. It's not a minus, but it actually helps with technical communications a lot. So I wish I had known back then. I had more confidence in myself. Yeah.
And what role do you think your formal education played in where you are today?
Oh, oh, that's a hard question because I'm not sure like, where I am today is the best I can be. So I think maybe we can ask this question like 50 years down the line, hopefully. So then I can really like where the decisions I made have been like the good decisions or not, because I think now it's like pretty early to tell.
Okay, I will remember that. So guys, let's reconvene in 50 years and I will re-ask that question for the person who asked that question.
Okay. Send me an email in 50 years. Still same email, yeah.
Okay, so now let's switch back to the more technical questions since Chip already had a break. And now let's give Chip some of the harder questions. So why did you decide to go into machine learning? What interests you the most about the space of machine learning and ops?
So I would really love to hear from everyone here as well. Like what made you go into machine learning, data science? Can I just call now anyone here? Okay, maybe Joyce.
Oh, okay. For me, I went into the field because of curiosity. There were some things that I met at work and some experiences I had at work that was repetitive and trying to tune different knobs. And I already got introduction lessons around machine learning, and we tried it at work, and it did simplify the work for us, even though it didn't go into production that much. But I wanted to learn more about the field. So yeah, is that out of curiosity.
So for me, it was like very similar. I got into machine learning because I experienced like how much like what kind of change it can bring. So I'm from Vietnam, and I grew up in a small village. So my parents don't speak English, so they were very terrified of like traveling or like visiting me, because it was like, okay, what I can't talk. So what if I get lost? They can't read the signs. So and also like a lot of the world knowledge is in English. So people who don't speak English would not be able to access like the vast majority of the world's knowledge. And I think it's pretty a disadvantage. But then I saw like machine translations, and it's really amazing. You can just put like different languages, and it's a translate into the language. And I thought it was really powerful. And I could see that it could eliminate a lot of the language barrier, helping people to access more knowledge, helping us to understand each other more. So that's what got me into machine learning. And I actually started in machine translation.
Wow, that's very, very inspirational. You almost sound like you could come out of the Google Glass commercial.
Maybe I should apply. Just hire.
Being commercials again.
Yeah.
As you have mentioned, so it's very difficult to actually stay up to date with all the new technologies because there are so many of them out there. ML ops is a very crowded space. There's thousands of technologies out there right now. So how do you actually stay up to date with all of these different technologies?
So I don't try to keep up to date with the latest things, because a lot of things. So I think that there are certain heuristics that I thought was really helpful. So for example, what was this person who's very extremely controversial? Naim Taleb. I'm not sure you heard of him. So he's his principle on reading books. So he doesn't read books that hasn't last at least 10 years. Because he thinks it's like, if it hasn't stand the test of time, then it's not worth his time reading. So that being said, doesn't mean you shouldn't read my book. It just came out. But he also like real like reading books from people who spend a lot of time, like committed their time into studying that topic, and it just reads a condensed knowledge of that. So I do think there's a lot of new things, but a lot of these new things are going to go outdated. And also, like, our time is like limited, right? So the more time we spend on like, okay, what is out there? So the less time we can spend on what we are really interested in. So for me, it's more like a commit and act. So it's more like, okay, I think there's something I really want to pursue. Then I want to give it my all for a little bit. And I find the best people in it and try to surround myself with people smarter than me and just pursue that area. And then if it doesn't pan out, like maybe like a year, but I want to really focus on that. And then after that, I will look around, but I don't try to look around too much.
Yeah. And with the space continuously evolving, how do we know it is the right time to enhance existing MLOps tools?
Oh, by the way, thanks Harpreet for saying that's a Lindy effect. Yeah, what Naeem said. Tell him. So when's the right time to enhance the ML ops ML platform, right? The question.
Yes.
So I think I would say it's like it depends on the metrics that you're tracking. So like what metrics you care about, right? Like so DevOps have had like a lot of metrics work out. Like first of all, like change failure rate. Like if you deploy the change and how often the change cause error. So similar like how often you update the model. Like if you update when you update the model, how often does our model update cause the model to like perform poorly, or like time to detections, like if a failure does occurs and how long does it take you on average to detect it, and then time to respond, like if the model does degrade, then how long does it take you to like update and create a new model and then push more in productions. So you should track, like you should have like a set of metrics that you care about, and if the metrics are not up to where you need them to be, then you need to think about like update the system. And if you have no way of like tracking any of those metrics, then that's also time to like start redesigning our system.
Yeah. There are a lot of MLOps tooling companies out there right now. And obviously everyone's tackling a very valid problem, a very valuable space. But at the same time, from the perspective of a data science team or a machine learning engineer, how do we decide which tools to pick and which one to not pick?
Is that like $1 billion questions? If we can work out this question. So I think that's so if it were me, I think that we do need to look at vendors, and we do need to decide on like what vendor we want to bring onto our platform. So it depends on a lot of factors. It depends on like where our stage is at. What we can bring on in-house and what we don't want to bring on in-house. First, we have the options like whether outsource this X to X outside, or like we can build it in-house or hire people. So we tend to like not want to outsource what is we consider like the competitive advantage of our company. So we don't want, I think we have a lot of lessons from the past. It was just like some big company outsource the core functionality. I think is it Yahoo outsource search to Google, and then it's got like Google take over. But anyway, so we don't want to outsource our core competitive advantage. I think it was like try to understand the solutions. I know that's like so I've noticed like nowadays tools have a lot of ambiguous term marketing phrase, which makes it really hard to understand what they do. So I was trying to see like whether the company like understand my problems and whether they speak in a language I can understand. Because some companies aim to sell at like business leaders, people who can write check. So then they use like terms that's like not really relatable to engineer. So if I'm an engineer, I want you to talk to use a tool where people clearly target me. I say build tools for me, the user to use, and not to build tools that can like convince business leaders to pay. So I think I would try that. Or I would try, yeah, like and so like whether the tool like really. I think that someone told me is like if they go to a website, it takes them 3 clicks to get to the API. That is too late, and more than 3 clicks. So you have to get like just show me the API, show me how it works. Like just don't tell me all the flowery words. Like I'm gonna speed up the workflow. I'm gonna make everything go bro. Like it doesn't really matter. Like you just need to see how they work.
On the same topic, how do you avoid marrying with one specific vendor and yet be able to build something that will scale properly when the department proves its value with some successful use cases?
I don't think it's just like really, really bad kind of marrying a vendor. So the question is just like whether it's a bad marriage. Like you just choose a vendor that's like not good and you stuck with them. Like we're like in engineering technology, we already have put a lot of our eggs in one basket, like cloud. So I know that's like people say again multi-cloud strategy, like to eliminate risk. But at the same time, I have never worked with a single team who say, "Oh, I love working on multi-cloud." Like that's not a thing. I mean, yes, your company do that because they're afraid, but there's a lot of benefit with like getting onto one cloud. I think another example I might use is like MacBook. Like in the past, people want to say, okay, let's use all different components. So we have a lot more control about how different things, different parts. But now like MacBook came along and it's like a really good one, all-in-one computer. You don't really have to make decisions and it just works. So I do think there's like merit in marrying a vendor. It just has to be a good vendor that you can trust and knows how to solve the problems.
That's interesting. So how do you know if that you can trust the vendor?
So that are decisions that I think like every buyer has to make for themselves. I don't think there's like vendors will always try, oh, you can trust us. But I don't think, I wish somebody else could make the decisions for me. But I don't think people can.
It's $1 million job.
Yeah.
A lot at stake.
Somebody told me it's like the job of a engineering, VP of engineering or a CTO, like 70% of the job is like trying to decide what vendors to buy, to use.
Wow. Interesting. That makes sense.
Go
ahead.
Okay, no, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we talked about machine translation and someone is interested to know your plans for translating your current edition of the book.
Well, I feel like if there's enough interest from certain countries, certain the publishers of country want to like translate the book, I think that's something I can do. Or unless we just need to wait for machine translation to get better. I think it's gonna be a few. I don't know. I don't want to make any predictions. Like, how long machine learning can just automatically translate every book.
Okay, now the most important question: when are you gonna write the next book?
This is really funny because I did look at the questions, and there were like 5 people asking like when to write the next book. I was like, that is like really early. Like, yeah. So pretty, I'm not sure, but I think like I do want to like spend time. So I did come from storytelling background, so I like writing stories. So maybe one day I can write a science fiction story. That's my dream.
Okay, guys, stay tuned for when she becomes a writer. We can read her science fictions. And so we got a lot of questions about how to start or how to get better in the space of machine learning or ML ops, especially if people are just out of school or haven't had much experience on production level systems. So what advice would you give to people who are in those stages of their careers? And what do you think is the natural next step after reading your book?
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, we are thinking of like maybe we can discuss on our Discord. That maybe we can have a separate sessions discussing like for people for recent grads, and maybe it take longer.
To add on to that, so we have compiled some resources in our Discord channel. So if you're interested, definitely feel free to check that out. We also have a lot of people who are interested in interviewing for jobs. So we're trying to organize, for example, mock interviews and stuff like that will be upcoming in the future in the Discord community. So definitely stay tuned for that. And you talked about your startup, Claypot. What can you tell us about your startup? Should we be ready to invest our money? What does your startup do? Can we expect to see it in the market soon?
Ooh, so yes, we hopefully will launch at some point. Can't commit to a date yet. So we are a machine learning platform for real-time machine learning. I don't want to do a sales pitch, but I think we will definitely announce it if we come out. Let's. Sorry, I don't want to turn that into a sales pitch. I can talk about myself for a long time. So I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the team. I think we do have a very, very strong team. It's really good. Yeah.
Cool. So definitely stay tuned for that. So now I'm going to open up the floor for additional questions, or if you just want to unmute yourself and say hi to me and to Chip, definitely feel welcome to do so. So yeah, anything that you want to ask or want to talk about.
Cool. Anyone wants to ask questions? Sorry.
Hi Chip, hi Chloe.
Hi.
Wonderful seminar, and like it's really great to see that even the audience can participate in the chat. I'm sorry I'm not switching on my video because the internet issues. But anyway, I just came from watching your series on the MLOps seminar organized by Stanford, and I was just and I saw it and it was really good, and I was just wondering if you were planning on some kind of series like that in your own YouTube channel. Like, I know you have a YouTube channel, but if do you plan on any such series which is open to public?
I have a lot of plans. I just don't have enough time to execute them. But yeah, if yeah, thank you so much for the kind word though. That would encourage me to try to put more effort into doing that. But I realize there are a lot of like great people out there. I feel like so I actually try to limit not going too many talks. But I realize that if I give too many talks, I start repeating myself, and it's not really fun for the audience. And also like there are like a lot of other amazing people who are doing great work. So if I don't give talks anymore, more speakers can give talks.
A follow-up to that might be that if you could maybe have a targeted talk instead of like a general one. Like I
Yeah.
feel that in the ML seminar in the Stanford one, it was more of a general system design thing. But I've seen many people do this like targeted thing where they pick something up and then they sort of go as a sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe some subjects on that. But
Yeah,
yeah, that
we do have those series on Discord. So recently we have a Rexis series, like there's a four session series, and it's led by really amazing people. So Chloe was there. She works on Reckless, so she knows a lot about Rexis recommend evaluations. There was Gokul Mohandas, he's a founder of Liquid ML, and he's really amazing. He's a really nice person. Eugene Yang was there as well, and he was leading some session as well. So we do have more targeted. And it was more of a community effort because there are a lot of people who were really good.
cool. We'll check that out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Go check it out. Come. And if you have like ideas on like what topics you're interested in, like do propose, and we will try to make that happen.
Sure.
Hi,
Thank
Chip.
you.
Hi.
Hi, it's Niraj here. So actually, yeah, the net is not good here again, and it's raining also. So, but thanks a lot for all your efforts, and I've been following your MLOps books and everything for a long time. Like, I just wanted a general question. Like, do you write so many books, and you like you have also done a lot of courses. So, how do you retain your memory? Like, how do you like train your memory to like not forget something? And like you're learning a lot of languages also. So, how do you like remember so much?
Well, I think like if Chloe, say people like my friends would know, I'm very spacey. I lose everything. So I think like at some point I was going with my friends, and my friend gave me his phone, and then my college roommate, she was like, "Really? Do you really want to give her the phone? Like she's a loser." So I don't remember things. But I write a lot. I keep note of like everything.
Okay,
Like
right.
yeah, like a lot. Chloe like seen that as well. Every meeting I would have a note for that meeting.
Okay, fine. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I'll take
Thanks.
that.
Yeah.
Wow, I see a lot of raised hands. Chip, you want to just pick whoever you want the question from?
Yaroslav?
Hey Chip, hey everyone else. Thanks so much for organizing this. My question is going to be not ML related, even though this is what I do. I'm the product manager for real-time serving at my company. But I also was born and I grew up in a small town in Siberia. So when you said that you're from a village, I was just curious what the path was like. I think there was some traveling involved on the way. I think I read on your website that you started a trip that lasted for way longer than you expected. So I'm just curious your story.
Oh, that is a fun question. So it was very, very different. Like my parents have no idea what I do. Like honestly, I can tell them everything I'm curing cancer right now. Like they have no idea. So, but let's take it offline. I think would love to learn more. I think I guess for me, I really enjoy like meeting people who share like a little bit. I guess it's like human bias, right? Like if you come from similar backgrounds and now we somehow end up in the same ML space, then I would definitely love to connect.
Let's do that. Thank you.
Yeah. So Richard.
Hi, Chip. Hi, Chloe. Hi, everyone else. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah. I guess I don't really have a question, but I had a comment. Went through the Rexus series and really enjoyed that, and just wanted to like really thank you guys and the community for doing that. Just because right now, like it's definitely given me like some ideas to help implement some of those systems at work. So really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's really nice of you. It's really nice. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so maybe Jeff Gross.
Hey Chip, thanks so much for the book. I actually got through it already, and it's a lot of content, so I probably need to go through it again. Fantastic. I had a specific question that we can either do here or offline. On chapter 10, you referred to in Feature Store, you refer to Tecton, and then in terms of because they require deep integration. There's some, and I was very interested to unpack that and understand what that was about in more of the details.
So okay, so I think I'm trying to say what is like cultural thing to say here, because we end up on a more public event. So are you asking because you are evaluating as a user?
Yeah, I don't work for Tecton.
Yeah.
I work for a major consulting firm, public traded. But given that my passion is MLOps and that's a part of the the system, I was curious when I was reading it. I felt like I would love to ask the author more about what that was about. But I'm happy to take that offline as well if that's more appropriate.
Yeah, so I think this can be like a more offline discussions.
Yeah,
but Terra it's a great company. I think it's a very strong team. So I think it's amazing. But it's also the nature of Feature Store, because it does require a lot of integration with different data sources. So it's just the nature of it. I'm not sure if there's a better way to go about it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Fantastic work.
Thank you. Thank you. Harpreet.
Hey, what's going on, Chip?
Hey.
So question, right? Love the article you wrote last year, why data scientists shouldn't need to know Kubernetes. But it feels like a lot of these MLOps tools are very tightly coupled with Kubernetes. So does that mean that there are certain parts of the MLOps lifecycle that data scientists should not concern themselves, or there's certain parts that they absolutely should concern themselves? I guess, which part of the process is it that data scientists should actually care the most about?
So one thing I noticed is that data scientists do very different things at different organizations, at different teams. So in theory, I don't think data scientists need to worry about things just because they worry about Kubernetes or containerizations, because it's not really closely related to their science. It's orthogonal. But at the same time, other organizations, people just have to do it just because the infrastructure is not set up right. So I think it's a question more on each organizations, what kind of infrastructure support investments they can make to lighten the workload. And until the perfect investments happen, I think data scientists do need to get their hands dirty on working with Kubernetes.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks for the question.
Due to the time constraint, let's take one last question, and I will announce the winners for the giveaway.
Okay, so last questions. Rizal. Sorry, how do you say the name?
It's Rizal. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Rizal. Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Yeah. Thank you very much, Chip and Chloe, for organizing the session. Hi to everyone. So, leading up to just adding on to the discussion about Kubernetes. So I think a lot of opinions out there in the space is that Kubernetes is not well fitting for GPU workloads or GPU implementations because it can be underutilized at the most for the most part. And I think there has been a lot of work being put into fractional usage of GPUs and also serverless implementations for GPU for GPU inferencing for machine learning systems. So I was wondering what's your outlook, or if you do have any thoughts on the serverless or serverless-like implementations in the field of machine learning.
So I hope that you're okay with me to take the conversation offline, because it does get really technical. And I feel like whatever opinion I have right now, I'm at risk of offense like half of the people. So let's take these discussions offline. Yeah, I think Kubernetes is great. My very good friend is a GM of CNCF, like is an organizer. So I think it's a great tool. Great people working on it. So I just think that it's a longer discussion. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm just like trying not to like get too technical here, and also we are at time.
Yep.
Sure, no problem.
So,
we'll catch up.
Yeah, thank you everyone for the wonderful questions and for the support. And for everyone else who hasn't had their questions answered, you're welcome to come to our Discord channel and actually ask your questions there. And Chip, when she has time, will be answering those questions as well offline. But yeah, thank you all so much for the participation. And I will be announcing the giveaway winners. So should I just read out the names of everyone and make sure you're here, or should I also just announce it in the channel? Chip, what do you think?
Yeah, I think what do you think? I guess I just announce it here.
Okay. So this is in order. Okay. So if someone is not here, we will be skipping and moving on to the next person. So Madura, I don't know how to say most of these names.
Yeah,
okay,
here.
let me just copy and paste this list.
It's pronounced Madhura Murlidhar.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, hi. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much for
Okay.
organizing this. Yeah, I'm a new grad, so this will be very beneficial for me. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I think how should we go about collecting address? So if your name is on the list, maybe you can email us, or we can email you. Yeah, let's communicate via email to get the address.
Okay. I will email everyone who's on the list. Do we want to check if people are present in person or no? Or not in person, but like live?
I think it's to be a lot of logistic work.